From a young age, I've been drawn to the unknown. The shadows held no fear for me, only fascination. Growing up, I had experiences that defied explanation, glimpses of things unseen, whispers in the dead of night. As I grew older, my interest in the paranormal blossomed into a full-blown obsession. I devoured books on the supernatural, spent countless hours researching haunted locations, and even began conducting my own investigations. My pursuit of the paranormal has taken me all over the globe, from the haunted battlefields of Gettysburg to the eerie catacombs of Paris. But it was a trip to Australia that would lead me to one of the most unsettling experiences of my life. This wasn't just another investigation. This was personal. Australia. The name conjures images of sun-drenched beaches, rugged outback landscapes, and unique wildlife. But beneath this vibrant exterior lies an ancient land, steeped in history and mystery. I was in Australia for a paranormal investigation, working on a new episode for Ghost Adventures. We had heard reports of a family plagued by strange and unsettling occurrences in their suburban home. The house itself was unassuming, a modest brick structure nestled in a quiet neighborhood, but as soon as I stepped onto the property, a wave of unease washed over me. The air felt heavy, thick with an unseen energy. Inside, the atmosphere was even more oppressive. Shadows seemed to cling to every corner, and the silence was broken only by the creaking of the house settling around us. The family, a young couple with a bright-eyed 5-year-old son, greeted us with a mixture of hope and apprehension. They had endured months of unexplained noises, objects moving on their own, and a general sense of being watched. But it was their son's increasingly terrified behavior that truly alarmed them. The little boy, whose name was Ethan, had always been a happy and outgoing child, but lately he had become withdrawn and fearful, refusing to sleep alone and often bursting into tears for no apparent reason. He claimed to see shadowy figures lurking in the corners of his room and whispered to his parents about the angry man who watched him at night. We set up our equipment, cameras and sensors, strategically placed throughout the house, ready to document any paranormal activity. As night fell, the energy in the house seemed to intensify. The air grew colder, and a palpable sense of dread settled over us. We were in the dining room, having dinner with the family, when the activity escalated dramatically. Ethan, who had been unusually quiet throughout the day, suddenly screamed and cowered under the table, his eyes wide with terror. He pointed a trembling finger at the empty doorway, his voice barely a whisper as he cried, "He's there! The angry man, he's right there!" A cold shiver ran down my spine as I followed his gaze. The air in the doorway seemed to shimmer and distort, as if a heat wave was passing through. And then, for the briefest of moments, I saw it too. A tall, shadowy figure, its features obscured by darkness, seemed to materialize in the doorway. It stood there for a heartbeat, its eyes fixed on us with an intensity that sent chills down my spine before vanishing as quickly as it had appeared. The family was paralyzed with fear, their faces pale and drawn. Whatever we were dealing with in this house was powerful, malevolent, and clearly fixated on the young boy. The events of that night left us shaken and determined to find answers. We spent the next few days conducting interviews with the family, researching the history of the house and the surrounding area, and analyzing the data we had collected. But the more we learned, the more confusing the situation became. The house itself had no documented history of tragedy or trauma that could explain the intense paranormal activity. Desperate for a breakthrough, we decided to consult with a renowned psychic medium known for her ability to communicate with the spirit world. We hoped that she might be able to shed some light on the entity haunting the house and its connection to young Ethan. The psychic, a kind-faced woman with piercing blue eyes, agreed to meet with us at the house. She entered the home with a calmness that belied the palpable tension in the air. The psychic moved through the house with a grace that was almost ethereal, her hands trailing along the walls as if she were reading Braille. She paused in each room, her eyes closed, her brow furrowed in concentration. The air crackled with anticipation as we waited for her to share her insights.
"This house," she finally spoke, her voice hushed and reverent. "It's a beacon for lost souls. The veil between worlds is thin here, allowing spirits to cross over more easily.
She explained that the entity haunting the house was not a single spirit, but rather a collection of restless energies drawn to the property's unique energy signature. These spirits, she said, were trapped between worlds, unable to move on, their presence amplified by the presence of a sensitive child like Ethan. As for the angry man that had terrified Ethan, the psychic believed he was a more malevolent entity, drawn to the boy's innocence and vulnerability. She warned us that this spirit was dangerous and possessive, feeding off the fear and chaos it created. Armed with the psychic's insights, we knew we had to act quickly to cleanse the house and protect Ethan from the malevolent forces at play. We performed a series of spiritual cleansing rituals using sage, holy water and prayers to purify the space and drive out any negative energy. The air crackled with energy as we moved from room to room, our voices echoing through the house as we chanted ancient words of banishment. The atmosphere, once heavy with dread, began to lighten, replaced by a sense of peace and tranquility. As we worked, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched, but we were determined to reclaim this home for the family, to restore their peace of mind and protect their son from further harm. By the time we finished, the house felt lighter, the air fresh and clean. As we were packing up our equipment, preparing to leave the family to their newly cleansed home, the psychic made a startling discovery. She had been drawn to a collection of smooth black rocks displayed on the fireplace mantel. These rocks, the family explained, had been collected by Ethan's father during a recent business trip to Uluru, a sacred Aboriginal site in the heart of Australia. The psychic picked up one of the rocks, her fingers tracing its smooth surface. Her eyes widened in alarm, and she quickly set it back down as if it had burned her.
These rocks, she said, her voice grave, they are not what they seem. They are vessels, conduits for powerful earth energies. And they have brought something back with them from Uluru, something ancient and malevolent.
The family was stunned. They had no idea that the rocks, which they had considered to be nothing more than harmless souvenirs, could be the source of the paranormal activity that had plagued their home. The revelation of the rock's true nature sent a chill down my spine. It was a stark reminder that the paranormal is not just about haunted houses and restless spirits. It is about the interconnectedness of all things, the delicate balance between the seen and unseen worlds. We advised the family to return the rocks to Uluru as soon as possible, to apologize for their removal, and to seek forgiveness from the spirits of the land. It was the only way, we believed, to appease the ancient forces that had been disturbed and to restore harmony to their home. The family, shaken but determined to make things right, agreed to our advice. They promised to return the rocks to Uluru and to treat all sacred sites with the respect they deserve in the future. As we drove away from the house, I couldn't shake the feeling that the rocks were watching us, their smooth black surfaces reflecting something ancient and unknowable. The experience at that Australian home stayed with me long after I left. It was a stark reminder that the paranormal is not something to be trifled with, that our actions have consequences that extend far beyond the physical realm. It taught me the importance of respecting ancient beliefs and traditions, of treading lightly in places of power, and of being mindful of the energy we bring into our homes and lives. The paranormal world is full of wonders and terrors, and it is not for the faint of heart. But for those who dare to explore its mysteries, it offers a glimpse into the hidden workings of the universe and the boundless possibilities that lie beyond our limited human perception. As I continue my journey into the heart of the paranormal, I carry with me the lessons I learned in that haunted Australian home. I'm more cautious now, more aware of the delicate balance between the seen and unseen worlds. But my fascination with the unknown remains undimmed. The paranormal is not just a hobby or a career for me, it is a calling, a lifelong pursuit of truth and understanding. The world is full of mysteries, and I, for one, am determined to unravel them, one haunting, one investigation, one chilling encounter at a time. The unseen world is all around us, waiting to be discovered, and I will be there, ready to face whatever darkness or wonder awaits.